Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today to learn more about your Rentec Direct software and how you can utilize your free custom forms tool. So I'm really excited to share with you just how easy it is to create a brand new form or letter or bring in an existing form you use into your Rentec account, and how the program is going to help you autofill this form when you need it. So meaning fill in all those blank spaces automatically. So using your Rentec Direct's Forms tool is going to definitely save you a lot of time. And if you send documents electronically already, you're going to be happy to know that this webinar is going to show you how to save some money too. Just a quick introduction. My name is Janelle, for those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet, and I've got Heather from your success team with me today. Heather and I were property managers before joining Rentec, so we've all been in your shoes, and I remember having to fill out all my forms manually, and boy, it is a real time sucker. So we would have loved to have had this tool back in the day, right, Heather?
Oh, absolutely. I handcrafted every document in the good old days of property management, and this would have been such a time saver.
Yeah, definitely. I think of notices that I had to do every month that I had to handwrite or type them in, and I'm just really excited that this tool exists now. So just a little side note about Heather, and I just noticed we look like we could be sisters. And she would be just a really great sister because she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And if you haven't spoken to her when you've called in, you'll find she's also very thorough. And that's why she's here today to help us learn the ins and outs of your Rentec tools. And she's going to be able to answer your questions. So you're going to notice in the upper right corner of your webinar screen a Q&A button, or it says questions. So if we aren't covering your specific question related to forms and DocuSign, just feel free to send her a question right through that tool. And before we get busy learning about how to use your Rentec Direct tools, I'd love just a little feedback from you. And you're going to notice in that upper right corner of your screen, right by that question button, a tab that reads polls. So if you wouldn't mind just clicking on that right now and answering those few questions, it's just going to really help Heather and I understand, a little bit more about our group today. Thank you for those that are filling out those polls there. There's just 3 of them, so simple questions. Thanks so much for answering them. And while you're answering those, a few people who are still filling in their answers, I wanted to just bring up a real basic concept. So some of you may already know this, but for those of you that are hearing this for the first time, fields in Rentec are the locations where you enter data about either your tenants or your properties or your bank accounts or owner accounts. So now that we've established what fields are, I wanted to just give you some visuals here to go with this. For example, you'll see on the left side of the screen, when you're keying in data to your account about a tenant, like we do in the screenshot here, each of those bits of information are stored as data fields, and they can be used in other areas in your software, such as accounting or reports or in forms like we're talking about today. So you're going to see on the right side of the screen the option to create custom fields or customize bits of information that we didn't already load the software with when you came on board. So you may want to store custom information about tenants or properties or owners, and you can create these custom fields under your settings tab, and then they're going to appear on each record you create. So you're able to record that related information you need and use them in your forms. So you're going to notice back on the left side towards the bottom, I've done where I've created some custom fields related to pets. So you could record information about a tenant's pets that they have. And I'm sure most of you have heard of DocuSign, but I want to review first, what this tool offers when it's integrated into your Rentec Direct account. So DocuSign offers a means for you to collect electronic signatures from tenants, and for our Rentec PM clients, they can collect signatures from owners. And the gist is this: you'll have a Rentec specific DocuSign account, and it's included in your Rentec Direct account with no additional fees for all clients on the current plan. For those of you who've been with us a long time and maybe you're on an older plan, just reach out to us and we'll make sure you know how to get that updated. So no fees to you, your tenants, or the owners. So hey, it's free. Why not use it, right? So there are easy steps to follow to activate your Rentec account to have DocuSign access. So first, you're going to go over to your settings and utilities, and you're going to see the option to configure your account for DocuSign. And just simply follow that link you see right here. It's going to show up on your screen, and there are instructions that are provided there. And once you do this, your account will be initially set up in what we call demo mode. And this way you can do some test runs. And it's a good idea to set yourself up as like a mock tenant and just go through the paces so you're familiar with all the steps. So when you want to use it live, you're comfortable. And once you're done familiarizing yourself with the system, return back to the same page, and you're going to be prompted again to move it over to production. And DocuSign account involves the same steps you did for the demo account. Once you've done this, your account's going to be ready to collect signatures via DocuSign. And I'm going to be demonstrating that here shortly, so hang tight on that. There are a few program settings you're also going to want to toggle. The first one is under your program defaults, and you're going to just make sure that you select that to yes, and this is going to allow you to easily track your pending documents. And the next permission that I want you to take a look at is related to actually user permissions. So if you have anyone working in your account with you, or maybe you are a sub-user of an account, these settings are going to need to be managed before you're going to be able to use the forms and DocuSign tools. So you're going to see here, just go over to, if you're in your account, check this out. Go to your settings, manage users, and then you're going to click on their permissions link, and then you'll be able to see this general permission section, and you can just elect which of your team members you want utilizing each of these tools, and you can do it on a per user basis. So maybe not all of your team members need to have access to this, but you definitely need to allow them if they're to use it. So now we've covered fields and what DocuSign is all about. So let's get into, how to use them in your forms tool. So you have the option there's three different options here. You have the option to create a brand new form from scratch, or you can use or modify one of the templates that your account was preloaded with, or you can copy and paste a form that you currently use, maybe outside of Rentec. You can bring that into a new template in your account. And you can have as many forms in your library as you wish. So don't limit this tool to just rental agreements. Use it for any document or letter that you use repetitively. It's just really going to save you so much time not having to retype the information, that's already in your Rentec account. So now we're going to look into my account, where I'm going to show you how easy it is to copy and paste an existing form into your Rentec Forms tool and generate a new form that's auto-filled with data fields. So let me pull up this video that I made for you so that I can be chatting while it's demonstrating it for you. So first, you're going to want to go into your settings tab, and then you're going to click on Forms down at the bottom, and you're going to notice the option to open a template or add a form. So that's what we're doing. And I am just going to copy and paste a sample lease I had in a Word doc so you can see how it works. And this is, again, bringing in an existing document. And you're going to notice here all of these fields that you can, or excuse me, different options that you have once you've pasted it in. So you can, select these different options to insert data fields or to reformat it. And especially if you brought it in a PDF format, sometimes you're going to need to reformat. And the good news, this is just a one-time effort. So again, you're going to notice all those options available for you there up at the banner, and the data fields that I'm showing being inserted in where all those blank lines were. So again, don't worry about absorbing all these steps right now, because there is a detailed knowledge base article that I'm going to send over to you, and you can reference it to help you as you go through it. So in this example, I'm not going to completely format my sample form, but I'm just doing enough so that you get the feel for how the tool works for you. So all those blank lines we're just replacing, with data fields. And you're going to notice here I've also inserting the DocuSign signature field, which is a way for you to have that inserted into your form later. And did you see it right there that's towards the top of that form where those custom fields are inserted? So the approved pets or the pet fee, those were custom forms. So I'm going to highlight some of these custom fields in blue, so that way when we generate this form, you can see them pretty easily. So let me just make sure these all get highlighted blue for you. And, once you've got your form the way you want, you're going to want to make sure that you go ahead and give the form a name and you save it. And then we can go over and we can take a look at it on the tenant side. So you'll notice I went into the tenant side and I chose my form, and you can see it, all those blue data fields, they automatically filled in, and they even have the option there for the signer. You can download it. You can also activate the DocuSign tool just by selecting the box, and you can choose to have an additional signer just by clicking the button there and inserting the person's name. They begin added to the form for you. And you're also going to see the option, if you want to, you can email it right out of the program. So that's another slick tool, is to be able to email right out here. And also, you're going to notice here when you go over to your summary page, there is a section under the Notices tab to be able to access all of those forms. So let me pull this video out of the way here for you. So if you want to retain the formatting of, say, your existing documents that you have that you may want to bring in, there's some shortcuts out there that are just really going to save you a little bit of time. For example, if you have your current form in a PDF and you have Adobe, open up your form in Adobe, and then once you do that, you're going to see the option under the File tab to export your PDF in HTML. And that HTML then can be pasted into your Rentec Forms template. So that's a way that you can still retain all that fancy formatting and not have to start from scratch. So when you are in your Rentec Forms template, under the Tools button, you'll be able to select Source Code. So back here in your Forms tool, you'll see that option, and that's just where you paste it in. You also can compose a new form, or you can copy your existing form from a word processing program into this online editor that I've pulled up for you. So this is a pretty slick tool if you want to create a fancy form, or one that has a lot of features in it, and then just copy that HTML. So to review, you've got 3 ways that you can generate a form in your Rentec account. And maybe you're going to use a combination of all of them, to flesh out your library. If you want to share a form that you've made to a portal, you can do this just like you would any other file. Just simply use the download button when you're creating that form. And then you're going to go over to your file library, whether it be for tenants or owners, and just select upload and then click the share button, just like you normally would with any type of file. And if you need to delete a DocuSign file that you've created, it's really simple. Just go to your e-file library that you find in your summary page, and in your program, click the quick access link button, and then just right click on that file and select archive. You'll see that once you've run a couple test runs, you may want to delete those. So you can completely delete a file if you go into archives, just like we do with tenants or properties that you've archived. So there are numerous online editors available for you for free, if you want to copy source code into your Forms tool, and I'll send you a link to the one that I displayed there for you. And, keep in mind that once you create a custom form and field in your Rentec account, like I displayed for pet fee or type of animal, only your account admin is able to change that field. So, or if you, need to have access to those custom fields and you don't, make sure you just talk to your admin about those accesses. And just a last reminder, Chrome or Firefox browsers, they're the most recommended to get the best experience in your Forms tool. And Heather was telling me that Firefox typically allows you to drag and drop a letterhead or a logo, which is really nice. So Heather's been busy answering your questions, and I know that some of you have been sending in, and I just wanted to, thank her for her contribution today. Heather, how's it going over there on your end while you're answering questions?
It's going great over here. We had a question about, like you just mentioned, being able to add graphics. Firefox is that great browser for that. And then people ask, where do I find those after I've sent them? After I sent a DocuSign form. And so you would find those over on your summary tab. At the bottom of the page is a quick access link. You can view your eSign documents that went out and their status, and you can also click on the mailbox option to see those letters that you've sent out.
Oh, great. Good questions. Thanks for sending those in, guys. I appreciate it. And, I just want to mention that we're going to be featuring new webinars each month, and we're going to work to keep them shorter in length so that you can fit them into your schedules easy. So you can register for these by visiting, the Rentec Direct blog. I'm going to send you a link to that page as well. And another cool thing is after these webinars conclude, you're able to watch the recording as on demand. So you can share this information if you have team members or new employees. So we just want to make sure you are successful and you have all the tools you need. So thank you so much for joining us today to learn, how to best use your Rentec Direct tools. And if you have any more questions that you haven't posed for Heather, don't hesitate to reach out to your client success team. And just don't forget, you have a built-in knowledge base. It's right in your fingertips in your program. You'll see it in the bottom banner there, and you can read all the how-to articles you need at any time. So thanks again. Have a great afternoon, and